I'm Dusty Deen. I am an animator and filmmaker from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Santana Claus is a music video from an old friend from college who does a lot of music and came to me with this song. It's an instrumental track, which I lean towards, and kind of just said, do whatever you want. So I worked on it on and off for about a little over a year. It's made with collage materials sourced from magazines and pictures on the internet. I just kind of came up with this weird story about these chicken people. It's screened at the Hudson Valley Film Festival in 2022. There's lots of kind of different ways people approach me about music videos. Sometimes it's seen something through like my Instagram that they like and they want it in that style. And sometimes they'll come with a story and colors and ideas. And other times, and usually there's a discount for these times, they say, we have nothing, do whatever you want to do and take as long as you need. We have no deadline. I like to build my pieces to audio. So with music videos, there's certain hits and times and things like that. But having done this for so long, my work has developed a very kind of musical rhythmic style. And so often I'll have a piece and then I'll say, start looking for music for something, or say, hey, maybe does this work with this music video? And when I put it to it, it often lines up pretty good with the music. I think I've just kind of developed a very kind of rhythmic style within what I do from doing it for so long. The sketchbook project started from, a lot of my animations are done on paper and they're done very small in 1 inch by 2 inch squares. And so I have a lot of papers that were without anywhere to live. And so I started cutting those out and pasting them into my sketchbook, which also contains kind of my notes from my life, little doodles, illustrations. The sketchbooks kind of live with me throughout my process. And so they contain a lot of different elements. And so I noticed that they were interesting and I kind of liked them. And so I started cutting out these smaller animated images and pasting them into the sketchbook to create like a flip book type effect. Oh Shit is the second sketchbook I've finished. It kind of encapsulates the years, 2022 through 2024, kind of in my artistic journey. It runs about, 30 seconds-ish, and then it loops several times because there's so much going on. There can be a little animation going on in this corner and that you maybe not see, and the next time there's something in this corner. And so there's just a lot to look at. And normally kind of persistence of vision, it's usually the second time before people kind of realize what's happening when they're viewing it. There's a lot of photographs in this version. I was staying in Santa Fe, New Mexico for a couple weeks, and so the audio comes from just hanging out in different cafes and things and just hitting record and hearing people and the kind of the ambient noise. And so that's where the audio from the piece comes from. The photos in that specific piece, there was a bus stop in the middle of the city that I happened to walk by, and there was this giant box of someone's old family photos just sitting there. And I thought, well, that's kind of weird. Why would this be here? It's a random place. And I left and I thought a little bit about it, and then it started to rain a little bit. And I was like, I'm going to go back and see if those photos are still there. And they were, so I just took them, and it was right before it rained. So I kind of saved them, and I ended up incorporating a lot of those photos into the piece. Finished that project in 2024, and it screened at the Hudson Valley Film Festival that year. I joke that I'm never doing the same project twice. I'm always trying new methods of animation and new styles. Right now, I'm working on a project that's on actual 35 millimeter film that I kind of scratch and paint onto. In the past, I've animated with grass and leaves and whatever I've got laying around or whatever new material presents itself. I've done some screen printing that I turned into animations, and I've always just wanted to try and experiment with different things and kind of see what works. And so a lot of my clients, a lot of the people I do music videos for, kind of respect that and say, hey, I've got this track, I don't know what it's going to be, make something from it. And from there, I kind of get inspired a little bit by the music, and then I just start looking around for different materials and different ways to create something that complements the sound. I've been getting more into projections and video installs recently. I had a project in downtown Albuquerque that was an install that ran from December 24 to April 25, where we projected from the inside onto some large windows in the downtown area and had animations running on that every night. Currently, I'm working on a project for the Denver Night Lights project, in which they project onto a big building, the Daniels and Fisher Clock Tower in downtown Denver, which is very tall building down there that they map and put art onto every month. And so I was selected as an artist for that. And so coming up, I said end of summer, so probably August sometime, I'll have a piece on that. And it's based on the dance, the donkey roll. My ideal drive-in double feature would be Wallace and Gromit, Curse of the Were-Rabbit, and then probably something like Johnny Dangerously. I love drive-in theaters, and there's not very many around anymore. So when I came across the festival originally and saw that it was a drive-in theater, I was very intrigued. And after I submitted, everybody in the festival has been so kind and helpful and big fan of everything they do. And they've just been very supportive of me as a filmmaker. They've kept in contact with me, and it's just been a great experience. It's just a really great film festival.